Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking. And today the title is going to be Dulce Norio Mesa Tour. Okay, so let me explain this. As you may know, if you're interested in the Dulce Underground Base, Norio Hayakawa is probably an expert at that whole Dulce, the Mesa, people involved with the underground base, the Hickory Apaches, since he did a conference there and has traveled up there and interviewed a bunch of different people, took a camera crew there from Japan, got kind of thrown in jail or detained for several hours. There's all kinds of crazy stories of Norio and the underground base. Okay, and also you have to know Norio's a good friend of mine, so he shared some really interesting things with me. And I've written about all the different things about the base and the conference, etc. You can find those on our channel. So dimensional walking. So anyway, so today I'm gonna. This is some information that I got from Norio. I think it originally came on his blog spot, which I don't think exists anymore. Best I can tell, I couldn't get back on it again. But anyways, this I'm going to read a lot of this to you. Okay, this is a lot of it comes directly from Norio. I will probably throw a few of my own comments in from my own knowledge and wisdom of the area. Uh, but anyways, this is kind of a tour that Norio did with a friend of his. He was taken around, and I believe it's probably a Hickory Apache. It doesn't really say who it is that toured him around, but when you get into some corners and small roads, you pretty much have to have a guide, which would be in this case the Hickory Apache as a guide to kind of get you there and around without getting yourself in trouble. Okay. Very similar to what Troll Norio got into originally when he brought that Japanese film crew over there many years ago. So, anyways, and that is a great story. Like I say, it's on some of my other videos on the Dulce. So, anyway, so I'm going to kind of read a little bit of this through. That's why I got my glasses on today because it's easier for me to read, long bits of text. So anyways, this was on November the 11th, 2010, and Norio said this is a really interesting day for him because he was able to kind of transverse the whole perimeter, I guess, of the Archuleta Mesa. So here we go. A colleague of mine from Dulce and I drove the entire circumference of the Archuleta Mesa, beginning from County Line Road 357 going north from Highway 64 in Lumberton to view the eastern slope and enter into Colorado near Edith. Then entering into Colorado near Edith, going west and then north on County Line 359, which is Coyote Park Road. And then going northeast on County Line Road 542, Montezuma Road, and then viewing the north slope foothills of the mesa. From there, he went south on County Road 500, which is south. It's called Tuhila Road, and then to Indian Route 169, which is Anita Road, Juanita Road, crossing the New Mexico side to the western slope and finally to the southern hills of the mesa along the Navajo River, north of the town of Dulce. All these roads were dirt roads. It took him about 45 minutes to make the entire trip around the mesa. So that really showed, he said, this really showed me how large the entire Archuleta Mesa was. He never knew how big it was until you drive it. 45 minutes, you can drive quite a bit. Now, granted, some of these are small. Many of the roads, as he said, were dirt. So obviously you can't be going 60 miles an hour on those type of roads. So, by the way, he also said that the Archuleta Mesa includes Mount Archuleta, which is very important. If you know anything about the underground base, A lot of people say it's not on the mesa, it's under the mountain. So it includes the Archuleta Mountain just south, which is actually just south of the Colorado state line. On this trip, he did not see anything really super unusual, but there were some interesting things. Except, and one of these interesting things was a suspicious looking private ranch, which is the Redding Ranch, on the north side of Archuleta Mesa, uh, which would be the Colorado side. There seemed to be a metallic hangar-like building on the ranch, and in that case, then it's most likely a landing strip behind it. Okay, there were some small buildings on the ranch along with 4 or 5 metallic bulletproof, he assumed was bulletproof, hunting towers that seemed to guard the area. It's pretty unusual to have a tower or a tree stand that is metallic. Pretty unusual. The hunting towers definitely seemed out of place in the area. It didn't seem like there should be, and they seemed to be placed in such a way that it was protecting the perimeter. This former ranch, the Redding Ranch, changed hands many times and is now under the control of the Utes of southern Colorado. The Utes are the Native American tribe. And there's a warning sign there saying no trespassing property of the Utes tribe. This and Norio speculating this could be an outpost for a base or an operating area for the Archuleta Mesa area. It seemed to me, and again, when I'm saying me, I don't mean me personally, but that'd be Norio. It seemed to me that this type of compound could easily be used by any black ops programs. Moreover, the Redding Ranch may be only access to Archuleta Mesa from the Colorado side. As for the eastern slope areas of Archuleta Mesa, as we drove on County Line 357 from Lumberton towards Edith, it seemed like the mesa is inaccessible to any heavy traffic, such as trucks, etc., since it is protected by the river and since there are no bridges on the northeastern portion of the mesa. According to the Air Force colonel from whom uh, Anthony Sanchez got the information, the second two-level underground installation is located in an area between the eastern slope of the Archuleta Mesa and County Line 357 near the Colorado line. So let me repeat that. According to the Air Force colonel from whom Anthony Sanchez got the information, the second two-level underground installation is located in the area between the eastern slope of the Archuleta Mesa and County Line 357 near the Colorado state line. True, it seems like there are some ranches which could easily be used as outposts for the Black Ops program near the northeastern portion of the mesa on the Colorado side. However, logistics involved in creating such an alleged entrance and concealing helipads in the area have been difficult and nearly impossible with the lack of bridges to get to the eastern as well as the northeastern slope. As Norio, just mentioned, it seems that the only access to the mesa is from the northeastern side or from the north side of the mesa, which is from the Colorado side, maybe from the Redding Ranch. That's why he keeps on talking about the Redding Ranch, because of its location, basically. Anyway, I mentioned we continued driving further west from the Redding Ranch area, still on County Road 542, Montezuma Road, and then turned southward towards New Mexico from County Line 500 to Gila Road. Then we took Indian Route 167, which is a public road, entered New Mexico through County Line 551. Now you can see why I read this instead of trying to memorize all this, which is also a public road. 551 is a public road. To view the western areas of the mesa, which is also a very rugged area. Then we turned eastward on J9 Road, a public road towards Dulce. J9 road splits into two, one becoming narrow gauge road as a public road, which becomes uh, Hickoria, Hickoria Road, which merges to Highway 64, which takes you to the front of the Best Western and then on to Lumberton and Chama. And the other one, which becomes J2 Road, also is a public road. The J2 Road is the road alongside the southern rugged hills of Archuleta Mesa, about a third of the mile. Now, let me just jump in here and say this. The J2 Road, I've been on J2, okay? And that's the southern, it's kind of a very hilly area. It's got kind of some caves in it. I've taken some weird pictures of some of the things that look like we're looking out of the caves. I don't even know if I still have those pictures, but it was pretty interesting pictures. But that's along J2 Road. About a third of a mile from J2, there's a junction between J9 Road and J2 Road. There's a steep road that takes you up towards the Mount Archuleta. Legally, one must be accompanied by Archuleta uh, Hickory Apache person in order to drive or hike on this steep road. Okay, again, I must stress to you, if you're going to decide to take this trip or try at least go on some of these roads, it's probably best to try to find a guide, a Hickory Apache guide, because that'll keep you out of trouble. I promise you. Now I had permission uh, from several people there that I could go on a road, and if for some reason I got myself in trouble, I could use their name, and supposedly that was the magic thing. Okay, so we didn't get in any trouble. We passed by a few Hickory Apache police, uh, and we just waved at them, and they seemed to be all right with that. Um, so Mount Archuleta is located near the west side of the mesa, slightly south of the Colorado state line. It definitely seems to be, it seems that one would need a four-wheel drive just to drive on the steep, rugged road towards the mountain. So it's not easily accessible to get to the mountain, and the mountain is the key because I believe, and a bunch of other people I've talked to believe, that that is where the main underground base is. It's underneath that mountain, not on the mesa. Okay, a lot of people think the mesa is the magic. It's really not the magic. There was interesting stuff there, and there may be a secondary type location under the mesa, but the main place is under the Archuleta Mountain. At least that's what I believe, and other people believe. Then about a mile or so east of J2 Road, there is a steep road towards the mesa called uh, Seguro, I'm sorry, Canyon Road. This also seems to be a regular road, probably only road that will take you only to the point one third of the way. Um, if one is willing to, and then after that, you'd be willing to hike 2 or 3 hours further to the radio towers on the Archuleta Mesa. And I think you actually, I think I'll probably put the thumbnail of the mesa where it shows those towers. That's probably what you're going to see on this one because I've used that before on some of my Dulce underground base type videos because then you can see the towers. Legally, one must also be accompanied again. We talked. Norio talks about the Hickory Apache person to drive or hike on that particular road. All of these shows that the access to Archuleta Mesa from the southern hills is extremely difficult unless you're willing to hike for 4 or 5 hours to the top of the mesa on the eastern side of the communication towers. They are two steep roads there. So I guess the point is that this mesa and Archuleta Mountain are very hard to get to, or at least get to the top of it. It's not easy. Okay. And I think there was a good reason why they put an underground base where they put it. Okay. Moreover, I mentioned legally, okay, again, he talks about the Hickory Apache having a guide, I guess, to get up to the top of the mountain. I won't go through that again. But note that he's mentioned it a bunch of different times. So to keep yourself out of trouble, and don't forget some of this stuff he talks about. This also goes through the Ute reservation. So you want to get in trouble with the Utes either, okay? because I haven't been in trouble, but I know quite a bit about the Utes living in Utah. Um, the way to get back to Dulce from J2 is to keep going east on J2 Road. Then you will cross the bridge which connects J2 Road and the River Road. The River Road then becomes Hawks Drive, which takes you back to the Best Western on Highway 64. Okay, so basically it took you on a big loop from the Best Western Hotel, and that Best Western actually was a place where I had stayed, Norio had stayed when Norio did the conference there, and we gave him a little bit of an assist. The group did from Albuquerque. So, anyways, now here's the interesting thing. Just so you know, this is a beautiful drive. It's a very incredibly beautiful place to drive through. Now, talking to as I have to the some Hickory Apaches when we were up there during the conference and in other times, one of the things they talk about a lot in this area was Sasquatch. So there is always this opportunity to run across Sasquatch in this area, and also UFOs, tons of UFO sightings. Okay, and they told me all kinds of really interesting personal experiences about having UFO encounters or alien type encounters in that whole Archuleta Mesa area, Dulce area. So there's other opportunities to see paranormal type things up there besides the underground base itself. Again, please be careful. If you can get a guide, a Hickory Apache guide, or when you're in their area, or a Ute guide when you're in their area. Now, you're not in the Ute reservation that long, so you may be able to get through that without any issues. But just be aware, these are sovereign countries. Okay, you know, yes, the FBI has some jurisdiction there and the BLM has some jurisdiction there, but the reality is you are in somebody else's country and they have their own kind of laws that they go by. So you don't want to get messed up with all that. And you can ask again, you can ask Norio that because he kind of got mixed up with it. So that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to get these instructions, you can obviously get them from the video, but if you want to get them kind of more in writing, you can either write me at dimensionalwalking@gmail.com and I'll gladly send you a copy, or you can go to my website, I'm sorry, Truth Seeker Forum, and there if you Google Norio or Norio Dulce, or if you do Dulce Underground Base, one of those you'll get a series of articles, things that I had written, and maybe even a couple that Norio wrote. And what you can do is you can probably find it in there. I'm not sure what the title was of it, but a lot of the stuff that I wrote in there is in here, especially the instructions of the roads and all that stuff in there. So if you want that, so hopefully you enjoyed. It's a really cool place up there. Like I said, just be careful, okay? Don't get yourself in big trouble. So, anyways, with that said, we'll see you. Bye bye.